and she just stops in the middle of the road. And I was like, this is where I get murdered? What's up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. I have yet another idiom for you all today, and I know you're sick and tired of idioms, and I know that my idioms list, my playlist, if you go and look on the idioms playlist, it's super long. And then all the other lists are like kind of long, and then abbreviations and it's just very short, and proverbs is like one, I don't know. But you know what? There's just so many idioms that we use, especially here in America, American English, every day on the daily. We use so many different idioms, and I have so many to teach you guys. Like, you guys don't understand. I tell you guys, I have like a list of hundreds, and you're like, oh, I have a list of hundreds of idioms to teach you all. Another idiom for today, and today's idiom is slim pickings. Slim pickings. And here's a little dad joke.
It's definitely not no slim pickings when it comes to teaching you guys idioms.
You'll get that joke later. Maybe I'll have to tell that joke again later at the end of the video. Anyways, slim pickings, what could this possibly mean? Well, here's how the story goes. Maybe you guys can guess what it means halfway through my story, all right? A few weeks ago, I was at a conference in Las Vegas. I think I've mentioned it in another video as well. And while I was there, I had to Uber everywhere I went. I didn't want to rent a car because honestly, driving in like big city places like that terrifies me. I don't want to do that. I already drive. I know how to drive in Atlanta. Not fun. So I don't want to drive in any other big cities either. So I Ubered everywhere I went. And it was the last day of the conference, and we all got out of the conference at the same time. There was like 400, 500 people. We're all exiting the conference center, and of course everybody's trying to leave. Before that, some people were staying at the hotel, some people were meeting up with other people on other days, but now the conference is over and everybody's leaving. So we're all trying to get Ubers and we're all trying to leave. Some people are going straight to the airport. Some people are going back to a different hotel. Some people are going to go this, here, another. We're all trying to get Ubers at the same time. Now, the area that we were staying, that the conference was at, not that we were staying, but the area that the conference was at was not really like the Las Vegas Strip. It was like off the beaten path. It's actually at a place called M Resort. It was beautiful. Off the beaten path. And, oh, that's a good expression, off the beaten path. Gotta write that one down too. It just means that it wasn't like in the very like common area. It was kind of like a little bit further out. And so we had to wait because of that. You know, not a lot of people around because it's literally the desert. If you guys have ever been to Nevada and Las Vegas, it's like a random town in the middle of a desert. So yeah, it's literally like the desert. So not a lot of people around there. And here's my luck. Here's just a little side story. I got out of this conference at noon. All right, all the other days of the conference, it was a full day conference. I didn't get out until late. I was tired. I just kind of went home and did nothing. I went back to my hotel and did nothing. This day, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go back to the hotel and I'm gonna relax by the pool. I'm gonna enjoy the sun, enjoy the time away from my kids, even though I love them dearly. I was so excited because it was like a half day of the conference, and then I get to go back and enjoy the sun and just chill by the pool at the hotel by myself. You know, it's gonna be amazing. And then it rained. Like, not only rained, it was storming in the desert on the one day I wanted to go to the pool. I was like, this is my luck. If you guys are wondering why I have so many amazing stories I can tell on YouTube, or fun or exciting or dramatic, it's because this is my life. I'm not even making it up. This is my everyday life. Sometimes I have really good things that happen to me, but most of the time, not so good. Yeah. And it's not like I'm unlucky. It's just this thing that my family calls the Patterson luck. Patterson, that's my dad's last name. It's like, we're not necessarily lucky, but we're not necessarily super unlucky either. It's just like, we're kind of, if it was a scale, lucky, unlucky, we're like here. So every now and then we have a little bit of luck, and then it's like right back down. So yeah, so it was pouring down rain at this time. So everybody's trying to get their Ubers, and everybody's trying to leave at the same time, and it's pouring down rain, and it's already far away from like the Las Vegas Strip or whatever. So I'm trying to get Uber, and Uber's taking like 45 minutes, and I'm like, oh, That's a long time. And so I actually get an Uber to my hotel and it says it's gonna be 45 minutes. I'm like, well, I guess I'm gonna wait. And then my friend messages me and my friend's like, hey, actually, let's go. My friend actually came to see me and she was like, let's go shopping or something here. She sent me her location. I was like, okay, I'll meet you there. So I had to cancel that Uber. And then I was trying to get another Uber and it just said it was like gonna take another hour or more. And I'm like, dang, I can't do this. I can't wait this long. I'm wasting my time. So I switched over to Lyft. Now I will say I didn't really have any problems with Uber or Lyft until now, but I have since read the reviews and I definitely know that Uber is like the Target and Lyft is like the Walmart, all right? Or Uber is better than Lyft. Before this incident happened, I had no idea. I was just like, oh, Uber and Lyft are like the same thing, but two different companies, they're competitors, they're the same, whatever. Definitely 1000% Uber is way better than Lyft. So I go to Lyft and it said like, she can be here in like 15 minutes. And I was like, heck yeah, 15 minutes, let's do this. I reserve her and I see that she's like, she has some reviews or something. So I'm like, okay, like she's not bad. And actually the reviews were good. The reviews are 5 stars. So I was like, okay, she's cool. So she gets there. First thing first, she can't find my location, even though it shows my location. And I text her my location and give her the exact directions to my location. She can't find my location. So I was like, this is bad because it's pouring down raining and I'm not going to be walking around this entire resort trying to find you. So you need to come find me in the comfort of your car. That's why I explained in detail my location to you. But yeah, so she eventually did. And then I think she was a little bit upset that she did, but I was like, yeah, you know, my bubbly, I was like, oh, I'm so sorry. It took you a minute to find my location. I was trying to explain it the best I could, but I'm not from here, you know, blah, blah. She was like, no, it's fine. And then she drives and then she gets on the road, and she just stops in the middle of the road. And I was like, what are we doing? This is where I get murdered? What's going on? You know, I don't know if you can even say that word on YouTube. I don't know. Is this where somebody, you know? And she was like, oh, I just need to like make sure that my phone is sticking up here and I have the right address, blah, blah, blah. I was like, okay, cool. That's cool. Granted, I'm thinking, all right, I couldn't really get an Uber because it was taking too much time. I switched to Lyft. There's only a couple people. She was one of the only ones that could be here fast. It was very slim pickings. All right, slim pickings. I couldn't find anybody. So I'm like, you know what, Carly, it's fine. You know, as long as I'm going to get there in one piece and I'm going to be safe, like it doesn't matter. Slim pickings. I just picked her. I get in the car. We stop in the middle of the road. I'm like, yes, we are stopped in the middle of the road. Yes, we could die at any moment because we are literally stopped in the middle of the road. But I'm going to trust that she knows what she's doing. And then she's like, okay, let's go. So she starts going. Then she misses the first turn. The very first turn she misses. And I'm like, no biggie, you probably just U-turn. And she was like, oh no, like this road, you can't U-turn for miles and miles and miles. And I'm like, all right, okay. How much longer is this going to add to my route? And she's just like, we're just going to go and it'll reroute us. And I'm like, Lord, please, please, please just be with me. I'm like thinking there's so many red flags here. Like you're sending me on a new route and I'm going to be kidnapped, trafficked, something. Because another thing in Las Vegas, it's right now there's a huge problem, a very serious problem with trafficking. So I was very concerned because even when you land at the airport, there's like posters everywhere about like stay aware, be mindful. Trafficking is a thing, like it's very common here in Las Vegas. So I was already kind of nervous about that. And then this was happening to me and I was like, this is it. So I'm like sharing my location with my husband. What is he gonna do? Because he's halfway across the country, not even halfway, he's completely across the country on the East Coast. I don't know what he's gonna do, but maybe they can identify my body later. I don't know. I was just like, worst case scenario, thinking all this stuff. And then we get on the expressway finally and her car starts doing this, like shaking. And I'm like, oh, here we go. I'm like, this is all part of the plan. Like she's gonna break down and somebody's gonna come over and they're gonna have like this van and then they're gonna throw me in the van, they're gonna kidnap me, like this is what's gonna happen. And she's like, oh, like pretending like nothing's happened, trying to make small talk to me, talking about how her mom just moved back and her mom was living in Arizona and now she lives here and blah blah blah. And I'm like, okay, cool. You know, I'm just trying to make small talk, praying that I'm gonna stay alive. And her car's doing this number and I'm like, oh, okay. And then we hit traffic and her brakes aren't the best, aren't braking the way the brakes are supposed to be braking. And I'm like in the back seat, like pressing on the invisible brake, like, okay, all right, we should brake. And then the brakes, like, it's like this close every time she hits the brake. We're like this close to the car in front of us. And I'm like, this is crazy right now. Like, am I really going through this? Like, first of all, she couldn't find me. Second, she stopped in the middle of the road. Third, she missed her turn. Fourth, her car is shaking, like shaking. Now her brakes ain't hardly working. And I'm like, I don't know what else could go wrong. And then we finally get off the expressway, and it says we're like 3 minutes away from the mall. So I was like, I made it alive. We're good to go. I'm almost there. And we're coming around, and again, misses the turn. Like, you're supposed to get off on this, like there's 2 exits of the expressway. One like goes this way, another one goes like back around this way. She goes the one back around this way, not the one right after. So we get put on going back the opposite direction, and she's like, oh my goodness, I couldn't see because of the sun. And I'm like, I just want to get out of this car so bad. Like, I contemplated, like, just let me out, like let me out on the side of the road
and not expect everybody to do everything.
Let me walk. I'll figure it out. Like, please. I contemplated that. And she was just like, oh, like, it's okay. You know, I know I can just turn around here. And I'm thinking, Lord, I have never needed you more than I need you right now. Like, and I need the Lord in a lot of different situations in my life. But I was like, Lord, please, please be with me. She was coming back around again. And then finally she's like, okay, we're here. And I swear I never got out of a car so fast in my life. I was like, thank you so much, bye. And she was like, would you like a water? Don't forget to rate. And then she gets out of the car too. And I'm like, I don't have any luggage on me. All I have is me, myself, and my little tiny work backpack. And I'm like, I'm good. So she gets out of the car, and I'm like, I need to run. Because, you know, everything has been very sus. View that here. Everything has been very sus up to this point, and now she's getting out of the car. If you don't know, Uber and Lyft drivers, they're not supposed to get out of the car unless you have like luggage they need to help you with. But she's getting out of the car, and she's like coming around, like almost like she wants to give me a hug or something. And I'm like, I was like, thank you so much, bye. I gotta go meet my friend. And I just like, I don't even know where I'm going. I just run into the mall. There's like a Forever 21. I'm like, I'm running in here. And I just go in there. And yeah, that's the story about how I barely escaped with my life. No, I'm pretty sure she was just a very kind lady. She did tell me that it was only her third day doing Uber, or sorry, doing Lyft. And also that the review, the 1 5-star review that she had was from her cousin. So there's that. Her cousin posted a review so that she can get more people. And I was like, honestly, I probably should have looked that there was only 1 review, and I probably should have read the review, but I just saw that there was 5 stars, and I was like, oh, okay, good, she's good. And yeah, now I know to actually like go through and read the reviews. Yes, it was very slim pickings to find a driver in the first place. And yes, I'm still alive today, so honestly, nothing bad really happened. I might have lost a few years off my life because I was worrying so much, but other than that, we're all good. We're all good. If you guys don't know by now what slim pickings could mean, I said like there was a lot of slim pickings for Uber drivers or Lyft drivers. Slim pickings just is used to describe a situation where there are very few options or opportunities available, typically making it difficult to find what one is looking for. All right, so slim pickings is an idiom used to describe a situation where there are very few options or opportunities available, typically making it difficult to find what one is looking for. So again, I wanted to get an Uber, but not a lot of people. There was a lot of people trying to leave, not a lot of Uber drivers around. It was pouring down rain. We were out in the middle of nowhere, and so it was hard. So I switched to Lyft, and there just happened to be 2 Lyft drivers nearby, and one of them had a 5-star rating, and she just came to pick me up. I did not know the 5-star rating was from 1 review from her cousin. I do know that now. But anyways, I had slim pickings. I was like, I guess I gotta choose her because there's only 2 people to choose from, so I might as well choose her. So I did. I barely escaped with my life. I never want to encounter such a situation again, but sometimes you just have to do what you have to do. So slim pickings, the history with Carley. The history behind slim pickings, all right? So this phrase originated in America in the mid-19th century, all right? Finally, we're out of the 20th century. Most of the videos we do says 20th century. So in the mid-19th century, during the California gold rush. So miners would use this term to describe the meager amounts of gold and valuable resources that they found after a whole day of prospecting. So prospecting is like mining in the mines, you know? So they would spend their whole day mining, and they would just find like just a little bit of gold, just little tiny things that they could use. You know, after hours and hours and hours of labor, they would only find a little bit. So over time, this phrase slim pickings evolved to be used more broadly to describe any situation where a very few desirable options or opportunities are available. All right, so slim pickings came from the California Gold Rush. See, you learn something new every day. All right, so of course I have 3 example sentences for you all. Example number 1 is, after searching through the job listings, she realized that there were slim pickings for positions in her field. All right. After searching through the job listings, she realized that there were slim pickings for positions in her field. All right. Example number 2, with the store shelves nearly empty, shoppers were faced with slim pickings for essential items. All right. With the store shelves nearly empty, shoppers were faced with slim pickings for essential items. And last but not least, example number 3, the real estate market in the city was experiencing slim pickings with few properties available within their budget. All right. So the real estate market in the city was experiencing slim pickings with few properties available within their budget. All right. So as always, I hope you have a better understanding of this idiom, slim pickings. If you do, please like, comment, and subscribe. Please leave your suggestions in the comments for future videos. Like I said, I have hundreds and hundreds on my list, but I always move your suggestions to the top, and I will make sure to have a video for them within a couple of weeks of you suggesting them. So please suggest what you would like to know, and I will make sure I will either do a video or point you to a video on whatever you have a question on. So that is that, and I hope to see you guys all in the next video.